Welcome to the Inferno. This is episode 32, where we're going to talk today about the narcissist and their persona. So this can be any type of relationship that you've been in, but I talk mostly on my channel about the role of a narcissist in I want to say intimate relationship, but it's never intimate on their part. So in a relationship with a narcissist, that persona and how important that false persona is for the outside world, for people to view of them. They're so fragile and split on the inside, and they love to put their best foot forward for the people that are out there in the outside world. And they do that with you in the beginning of the situation as well, or else if you really knew who their true flawed character is, you would never entertain them to begin with. So, you know how like we get up in the morning and put a fresh pair of panties on or underwear? The narcissist wakes up every morning and has a different persona. And the person at home usually is the one that gets to see the real flawed character of the narcissist. Because that persona is so very important to them. You know, they have to put on a certain persona for people out in the world, whether it be at work or, you know, just that stand-up guy in the community or stand-up girl in the community. It's important for them. It gives them validation. But you as an intimate, quote, unquote, partner, perhaps in a long-term relationship with them, you have seen the Jekyll and Hyde in them. And it's far deeper than just somebody has split personality. It's a persona. And a lot of times that monkey mind that's constantly going, constantly plotting, constantly plotting, you'll see the different ones. I remember looking back going, my God, every day it felt like I was regulating this person's freaking emotions, because when he walked in after work, I never knew who I was going to get. I'm not talking about just, a normal, healthy person who's on their journey that has different, ups and downs of their life. I'm talking about a narcissist here. And again, they wouldn't put that best persona forward in the beginning. I mean, it's planned, and they know they have to do that in order to even hook somebody to entertain them. So they know what they're doing. You know, there's a lot of people out there that talk about how they just do it automatically. I won't name any names, but no, most of them know exactly what they're doing. And let me clarify on episode 31 when I said narcissist, psychopath, all the same. I meant that in a spiritual aspect. It's just somebody that's been split. And as you know, with a narcissist, we all have wounds. We all, through our childhood, grow characteristic traits and personalities. But eventually on your journey, if you're a healthy person, you're going to know your core identity of who you are. And the narcissist doesn't. So we all could have, quote, brokenness from our past. That doesn't mean we become a narcissist. And isn't it crazy that some become a narcissist and some don't? Some become healers. Some become, truly authentic people who are genuine, and then the narcissist. So it's a matter of choice to me, if you ask me, in my opinion. I'm not a professional, and I've been putting them on my videos because I'm not a professional, but I'm sharing from experience. And that persona is so very important to them and their fragile little ego, because they want people to view them as this standout individual. And then when they come home and they show you all of their true flip-flops, like one day they'll just absolutely love you and the next day they can hate you. It's all of that chaos that they have within themselves, and you being the closest to them, you're the one that gets the wrath of it. So eventually when they feel like you're used up, they'll just show you who they are, and they'll become very arrogant You know, there's a part of them that's very vulnerable, and then there's a part of them that's so protective that they won't let anybody ever get into them. And that's why a lot of times people waste years upon years of their lives loving and showing true love to these narcissists, and they actually despise you for it. They end up hating you. They hate you, and they're in competition with you the whole time anyway. And that persona is so important to them. So when the relationship finally takes a crap, whether you leave or they leave, that's why the smear campaign starts in, because that persona will be, it wasn't me. It was definitely not me. You know, they'll point the finger at you and blame you for all of the failures in their own self-destruct life. And that smear campaign against you is to protect their persona, because they won't hold themselves accountable. They don't even see within themselves any need to be accountable, because you're the one that failed them. That persona they put forward in the beginning and showed you, mirrored you, of your likes and your morals and your standards, was nothing more than just a persona for them, taking a little bit of effort to hook, line, and sinker you and get you invested so they can use you, abuse you, and in their little chaotic minds, you know, scheming and deceiving, and they feel very powerful doing that, feeling like they get one over on you, lying over. This was something that I reflected back on my healing journey, on the freaking things that were lied about that didn't even need to be lied about, because in their sick ass twisted mind, for whatever reason, you know, they not only tell lies, they live lies. So that persona is important for them, to, like I said, for validation. But when the cracks start happening in a quote intimate relationship, and you're sitting there trying to figure out what in the hell just happened, that Jekyll and Hyde effect that you're witnessing can leave you feeling, you know, bipolar, can leave you feeling confused. And they love that chaos. They love to distort your reality. And let's be honest, these fuckers do it in a very subtle way for the most part. Not all of them. Some of them are in your face, like the grandiose, but the subtle ways that a narcissist hooks you into that shared nightmare is, you know, you can be tricked and fooled by these little bastards, even if you're a freaking psychologist, because it's not always in your face. Again, that's why they put that persona on out there in the world to all these different people. They'll be so kind, so generous, so helpful to other people. And they may have those moments with you as well. But the ones that are closest in that toxic entanglement with them are the ones that are truly seeing the truth of it and being abused like no other. You'll find yourself trying to, you know, make the crooked straight, and the narcissist has no desire to make the crooked straight. They continue to cycle in, be in the mess that they are, because it's all within themselves. So again, like I said, you know, we get up every day and put fresh, clean clothes on, and yeah, the narcissist may or may not do that, but they also put on a different persona. And you know, those are the type of people that do not do what is right and righteous when there's nobody looking. That's why a lot of times if you've been in a relationship with them, you feel like you're trying to save that vulnerable part of them, and they put you into a parentified role unknowingly. And then when they start to really have cracks in that persona that they've been putting onto you, they'll start telling you, you're the abuser, you're the crazy one. Oh my, I'm so concerned about him or her. They've pulled you into the fucking madness of that persona because it's constantly changing. So, when they're in certain groups of people, and I noticed this as well in my situation, this person would act differently depending on who was around. And it was always bizarro to me. I didn't overlook it. I witnessed it. I addressed it, but I couldn't make sense of it because I didn't know what the hell I was dealing with, right? Now that I know, I know. And the reason you'll never know them is because they shapeshift, as I've said in many of my episodes. And when they start having cracks in that fake persona and say they've, monkey branched on to their next source of supply, you will look at them and just look at them like unrecognizable. And that's because they are unrecognizable to you because they've already adapted to the next person that they're with. They'll change their eating habits. They'll change what they wear. Something I want to do an episode in the near future about is their personal hygiene as well, because that goes to shit as well. But when they have a new source of supply, they'll just start grooming to the nine again, whether it be a female or a male. It's irrelevant. They do that. They're quite lazy. They don't like to give effort. And again, you in their sick, twisted ass minds, you could be married to these people for 30 years and they're always within themselves looking at you as a threat. You will never get to that vulnerable child that was either abused in the physical sense, emotional sense, or, you know, enabled by a very weak, toxic mother that didn't have her own identity. That's also abuse too, and we need to make sure that we are addressing that, because abuse doesn't just look like the fine print. It can be, idolizing a child as well. So why that persona in the outside world is so important to them is because they do give a shit, actually, of what the outside world thinks of them. They don't know who they are, again, at their core identity. So in their twisted mind, when they're ready to disengage from you and monkey branch off to their next source of supply, and let's just be real, there's always another source of supply. They will never be in contemplation or healing. I was told that in the end when I got blindsided after 12 years that I just need alone time, and I knew, my intuition, my gut knew something was off. No, a narcissist never takes that alone time. There's always somebody else. Again, they collapse without somebody. So what else do I want to add here? I had a lot of notes to this one because this was one that was brewing for quite a while now. And I got reflecting about the different mood shifts. And I'm, again, not somebody that's just going through life with life experiences and we all have our ups and downs. I'm talking complete Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know and recognize who they are from, well, you never know who they truly are because they don't know who they are, but the highs and lows and the in-betweens that a narcissist goes in, they're at war with themselves every day. That's ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what it is. But you get entangled with them and they bring you into that. They are constantly in competition. They're always in a protective mode to protect that fragile, vulnerable little boy or little girl that's truly running the show with them. Or they're in this phase of showing you small slices of false vulnerability. And that's how they initially get you in the beginning, is because they become very relatable. And you start having a lot of, empathy and compassion for them. But it's all just to hook, line, and sinker you and control you. They keep reinventing their character all the time. So I'm not just saying, again, use discernment when listening to this, because I'm addressing narcissistic abuse and their traits and the aftermath on this podcast, but they reinvent themselves constantly, and it depends on, my God, it can be dependent on what they've watched. It could be a song they listen to. I'm not just talking slow, subtle spiraling up our spiritual evolution, because they do not spiritually evolve their character of core identity of who they are. I'm talking about them being such shapeshifters and lacking such a core identity that they just reinvent themselves and put on whatever persona they feel would benefit them on their journey. So I remember the one that I dealt with initially when he got interviewed for the job that he was at when he left me after 12 years of marriage. I remember him when he came home from the interview. I remember something that stuck out to me on how he said to me that he knows how to, I don't know the exact words, something to do about, I know how to adapt to sell myself for the interview. And at the time I thought, oh, okay, well, yeah, I know. Everybody knows. I know how to do that with myself too, because I know I'm an asset to any company because I'm a hard worker. But he was talking about basically putting on a front. And also used the death of my son for a little bit of empathy and compassion for that person that was interviewing him. And he could give two shits less about the wife that he had at home or the dead child that I have had to deal with in my life. So he used that in the interview to get him into the job that he had when he left me after 12 years. And I think that's pretty fucking sick because he didn't use it as in any way to be just a compassionate human being. He used it to get a career or a quote job closer to home. And that closer to job at home, he ended up having that affair that he monkey branched off to. So this isn't just me speaking of a relationship that ended because there was, a healthy ending. This was a narcissistic ending that was very calculated, very blindsiding. And so I'm just trying to share things here that may be relatable to you and what you may have experienced or maybe be experiencing now. So, new surroundings, new persona, new people, new persona, new fuel source online on social media, new persona. They can be one person to you and a whole new character in the same day with somebody else, but then you get the brunt of it as an intimate partner because you get that moodiness, that Jekyll and Hyde, and it really does leave you in a state of freaking confusion. Again, that endless journey of trying to make the crooked straight with a narcissist, they don't want that. They just want you confused, controlled, manipulated. And at the end of the day, you are just being used. So let me look at any more notes here that I had on this one, because this one was one that I had, like I said, working in progress. I just kept writing notes. They lack a lot of consistency, and that's because they're always shape-shifting. They're always putting on a different persona. This one to the outside world could just look to you like a standout guy or a standout woman. But again, the people that are closest to them are the ones that see the true chaos and the true madness. And it leaves you spinning like, what the actual fuck? It's intentional. It's actually creates complex PTSD in people. But I hope that you have a strong spiritual foundation so that you can heal and process the process of grief because, we do grieve even people that were toxic in our life. If you have any heart at all, any soul at all, that would be pretty much a given. But narcissists do not. They detach. They've been given over to the reprobate mind. And I say it over and over again. I have wounds. I've been through a lot of shit. But I've chosen to face those things and hold myself accountable and not be a victim anymore. A narcissist will never do that. They are 100% Very empty on the inside, but very busy in them minds, right? Busy, overactive mind that's usually plotting against you, and they actually plot against themselves at the end of the day. They'll take something that is very good, of high quality, of love, of support, and they will turn you into the enemy, saying you're controlling, you're manipulative, you're abusive, you're toxic. Rebuke that shit. Flip that and put that projection that they do right back on them. Let them go run around in the outside world. There's plenty of fuel out there for them, as I've said on the last episode. You are of good quality. You are of sound mind. You are of sober mind. Heal yourself. You're worthy of more than that. And don't allow them to project their insecurities and their fucking flawed personalities onto you. So from Proverbs 4:23 through 27, pardon me, this is the importance of you having a clear mind, and then it also is relatable to a narcissist because they're so fucking crazy. Again, they're always plotting and scheming, and that overactive mind, as I've said on other episodes, they don't sleep good. And if they do go to sleep, it's usually drunken, passed out, yada, yada, yada. Be grateful you're not in that no more. And if you are, try to get out of it. So Proverbs 4:23 through 27. Be careful what you think, because your thoughts run your life. This goes for you as the survivor and thriver. You know, shift up your mind, speak love to yourself. And as far as a narcissist goes, their very mind gets them in trouble. It causes them to be so impulsive and make stupid fucking decisions, not only for themselves, but people around them that actually gave a shit about them. It's like a dog that returns to its vomit. A dog that is a narcissist was created in childhood. A narcissist was not created by our God. A narcissist was created in their childhood, and like a dog returns to its vomit, a narcissist will return to toxicity. A narcissist will return to toxic family units over healthy, loving, reciprocal love. They end up hating you for it. So don't use your mouth to tell lies. Don't ever say things that aren't true. This is relatable to the smear campaign. I'm here as a survivor and thriver of this toxic bullshit, and I'm here to tell you I'm speaking truth. I will never not speak truth. A narcissist is nothing but a lie. They tell lies. They tell lies to themselves. They live lies. They're very deceptive. And so it's very important that we guard our minds and guard our hearts. And as far as a narcissist goes, again, I believe they've been given over to a reprobate mind. And if you're a good, beautiful, genuine person, you have no part in that. Keep your eyes focused on what is right and look ahead to what is good. And this I say to you as a survivor and a thriver, or somebody that needs to get out of it. Keep focused on what is righteous. When they're smearing you, pay it no mind, pay it no attention. I know it's very hurtful. And a lot of times, if you've been in this situation with these people for a very long time, you'll come to the realization that they were bad-mouthing you. They were slandering you. They were lying about you from the very fucking beginning because they knew it was going to end. They knew it was going to fail. They are failures. They don't repent to our God. They make mockery of God. They have severed the goodness that they could have in their lives because they're living out of the flesh. They're living out of the ego. They don't control their minds. That's why they're very impulsive. Be careful what you do and always do what is right. So do what is righteous. A narcissist will do whatever they can do to use, abuse, and one-up you. Again, everybody becomes competition to them, including the wife, including the husband. It's a sick, twisted game. And now I know why for years I would look at this person and say, why do you never let me in? And then I got to the point where at one time he got sober briefly, and I always mistaken his issues as just alcoholism. It's far deeper than that. Again, narcissists all have other vices as well. And I remember looking at this person and go, why do you resent me? It never made sense to me. You know I was a great wife. I was a very loving wife. I was a very real wife. I was a very genuine person. And I always could feel like this level of resentment coming from him towards me. And now I know why. So that'll be the episode 32. Thanks for joining me. I hope that you're doing well. And I hope that you found this video helpful some way. So make sure you realize that fools despise wisdom, and they also despise instruction. So if you were somebody that was trying to make crooked straight with a narcissist, this is from Proverbs 1:7. They are fools, and they despise any kind of wisdom, and they despise any kind of guidance or instruction. So don't waste your breath. Don't waste your time. I hope you're doing well, and until the next time, shalom, shalom.